Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Co Show. My name is Mason Co at Mason Charles Co on Twitter, and sitting across from me, my co-host Aaron Co at Aaron Co 29 on Twitter. Also, buy his book on Amazon. You can get the ebook, and Lulu.com is where you can get the hard copy. All right. After all those dumb little plugs, let's just hop right into some news.
Let's do it.
Yeah. So we got Jorge Masvidal and Usman fighting on 6 days' notice. So what's interesting about this is Usman and Masvidal kind of went back and forth on Twitter a few weeks back, and Usman accused Masvidal of actually dodging him. And now Masvidal was the first one to volunteer on 6 days' notice. Fighting on Saturday. I'm so hyped for this. Two of my favorite fighters. And I don't know a lot about fighting, but I've seen both of them fight, and they're electric.
Well, the thing about this is MMA, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I get UFC and MMA mixed up.
Okay, MMA is the sport. UFC is the league.
Okay.
Mixed martial arts is a sport.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Expert.
Yeah.
Expert.
Yeah.
Analysis coming.
Listen
from me
to what
right
he
now.
has to say. Okay.
But I would think, just given I've watched enough of it now, where I can see that people have very different styles.
Yeah.
You know, you've got boxers, you've got guys with kickboxing, you've got wrestlers, you've got all these different, you've got martial arts, different types of martial arts.
Yeah.
So,
Judo, karate, everything.
yeah, so you prepare for one guy. I would think if I was going to fight a guy, I would want to really prepare for what he does. I'd want to spar against guys that have similar styles.
Exactly.
So you're going in there, and obviously he's seen the guy, like it's not going to be a mystery, but there's a difference between seeing a guy and really sparring against people and really preparing for it. So that could be pretty interesting.
And that's what happens at the camps. So about a month. I don't know. Actually, I don't know how long MMA camps are, but I think it's usually about a month before they'll. A lot of them do it in Vegas or where they're about to fight, just to get used to the time zone. But they will spend a month of just rigorous training. So fighters aren't necessarily even in fighting shape until those camps.
Right.
Obviously, Masvidal is confident enough. I don't know if he is expecting to win going into this, but he knows this is his chance at a title, and if he loses, there will 100% be a rematch. So, going into it without a camp, though, is huge, because that's where I don't really know a lot, but I believe that's where you really fine-tune and prepare for the style that you're going against, like you said. So, yeah, I mean, that's huge, and I think if you're looking to bet, I think Masvidal is going to be at a huge deficit,
I would think so. Yeah.
And the thing is though, he's an animal. I mean, he lost some fights and then he went into the woods and basically did some self-reflecting and has had two swift, brutal knockouts since then. So I'm really excited for this, especially having the outside the ring, little beef here and there. It's not anything huge, but even just shots at each other on Twitter, that adds to it a lot.
If he wins this bout, he's a legend. Like that's going
That's
to be
what-
legendary.
that's
People
what-
will talk about that for
Exactly.
decades.
That's what Ariel Helwani, who is he's the Schefter of the UFC world pretty much. He tweeted that's legend status, period, if he gets it. So I'm so excited. Last fight though, I could not find an illegal stream. So I am actually really nervous. I will not be able to watch this fight for free and take money out of Dana White's pockets. And I'm not paying for that shit. I am not paying for it. Yeah, I'm not a big enough fan yet. I'm almost there.
I would do it if you got a few people together
Yeah.
and charged, hey, let's all chip in $10-$20 or go to a bar, but those aren't the best options right now.
No.
Yeah,
And I'm
especially for you, the bar probably isn't going to work out too well.
Yeah. I'm very quickly becoming a big fan of the UFC within the last 6 months to a year. But yeah, I'm not there yet to start buying pay-per-views. I'll just see the highlights or watch it next week when it's free.
It's been a growing sport for a long time, and then they've been one of the few things that have had live events happen.
Yeah, That's been
why
huge.
I've watched it.
It's been huge.
I never watched it, but I've watched a few fights now. And I look at the MLS too, coming back pretty soon, and they have an opportunity
Yeah,
to grab some fans too. So we'll see how that all pans out.
for sure. Yeah, I'm so excited for this though. I like this. These are two guys that they're just like warriors. They're both stand-up strikers, I believe. I might be totally wrong. I believe they're both big strikers. So yeah, it's pretty exciting. That just makes for fun fights when they're strikers instead of wrestlers. But yeah, moving on to some football news. We got Cam Newton signing with the Pats about an hour after we recorded our last podcast. So that was great. We couldn't report on that when it happened. We were waiting a whole week.
Who cares anyway? He sucks.
Okay, whatever. No, I genuinely, if Josh McDaniels can cook up a good system for him, I think for sure they win their division, and I would not be surprised to see a matchup of Tom Brady and Bill Belichick in the Super Bowl. Unfortunately, too. I don't want that to happen, but I really would not be surprised.
I just don't know that he's very good anymore. I don't know that he's very. And McDaniels did do some great things with Tim Tebow. So
okay.
I got to give you
okay, chill. Nah, but I think, he has obviously the defense now. He doesn't have a ton of weapons though still. Yeah. So it's concerning, but
and also he's not good.
Okay, you need to stop with the slander. No, I think I'm not going to come out and say he's still good because we haven't seen good Cam Newton in a couple of years. But then again, he's been injured. And when you see him throw the ball, the last few years he was, after his MVP year, he was really short-arming it. It seemed like he was hurt. Now he's had over a year to rest pretty much. And, I think, and also, take what you want from the Instagram workout clips. That motherfucker is sculpted right now.
Yeah, he, if you were, gonna on a video game build a football player, I think he would look a lot like Cam Newton.
There's
the
a picture,
size,
yeah.
The speed, the body.
Mm-hmm.
He's a 99 in several categories. But accuracy is not one of them.
Yeah, that's true, and you can't really teach it.
And running, obviously he's been one of the best athletes to ever play quarterback. Lamar Jackson may be giving him a run, but they're very different running styles. But
yeah.
Newton has taken a lot of hits. He's 31 years old. When do running backs fall off the table?
Around 30,
years old.
Yeah.
So I question how much can he run? How much can he run without getting hurt? And if you're not going to have him run, is he a good enough passer to be a top flight quarterback in this league? And I don't think so. I really don't think so.
I'm not gonna sit here and act like I'm super confident in Cam Newton. But I genuinely I'll say this. If he starts 16 games, they're winning their division. You can book that, freezing cold take it.
It's the AFC East.
Yeah, so that's not a super bold claim. You got the Bills, who knows when Tua's gonna start, but Fitz goes out and wins you games, and it seems like Brian Flores. It seems like they have a good coach there. Like, yeah. Dude was down by 20. He's 0-10 or something, and he almost rips a ref's head off for a bad call. So, like, he cares, and he willed those guys to win those last few games, going to New England.
Yeah, when your whole organization is trying to make you lose
yeah.
and you still overcome your own organization and win games,
I think
he earned some respect.
I think he might have kind of the Pete Carroll thing where he can really get players to rally. Yeah. I think basically, this is pure speculation, but I have a feeling he probably went in there and was like, look, the people above me, like, they're trying to lose this year, but we're trying to win. So, like, fuck them. Like, don't even talk or think about them.
It's like a major league moment where they peeling off, I don't know who the owner is, but were they peeling off, like pieces of clothing in the movie Major League every time they won a game or something? Yeah. I don't know, but yeah, no, we'll see. Yeah, Cam Newton, if you look at Russell Wilson, he doesn't run much anymore. He's had to adapt his game.
When he does, he takes no hits. Takes no hits.
He's always been very smart about how he runs. Yeah. Rarely takes a big hit. So I haven't seen that from Cam Newton. Yeah. I haven't seen him adapt his game. So and I don't know if he can do it. We'll find out, I guess, if anybody can get it out of him. And that boy, and he came out and said he's going to stop being humble. Did you hear that?
Did he say that?
Yeah.
On what?
I don't know what platform. I heard it on the radio. But
Okay,
he said he was going to stop being humble.
I think
When
that sounds like
when
an Instagram caption that you shouldn't take to heart. I don't know where he said it, but
right,
I wouldn't put too much stock in
I
that.
don't. Yeah, humble is not something that he's been a whole lot of.
No, that's
So.
true. Yeah, I don't know if he has to stop being
Although I
humble,
will
but
say he's been pretty quiet, I think, for the last few months
yeah,
when
this whole
he
last
didn't
season too.
rant. He didn't rant about not getting a big contract and all that. So I don't know. We'll see. I just have never. I don't like the guy. I've never liked
Yeah,
the guy. I don't like his stupid outfits and his. I don't. He's a me guy, at least outwardly. I've heard his teammates have respect for him, which is probably really what matters. But
yeah.
I don't. I didn't like him not jumping on the fumble in the Super
That
Bowl.
I mean, I try to kind of defend Cam Newton, but with that, it makes it almost impossible to defend him when he doesn't dive on
Yeah.
that football.
So I don't know. I don't like the guy, but hey, I hate the Patriots too. So I love the signing.
Well, you're not gonna love it if it works.
No, I don't think it's gonna work though.
Yeah.
We'll see if he even starts.
Yeah. Oh, and by the way, what's in it?
Freezing cold take. He will not even be the starter in game one.
That's the thing. I've seen some reports saying that they're not going to use him as a starter at least week 1. And what's in it for the Pats is they actually just lost a 3rd-round pick, $1 million, and their film crew can't.
Cheaters.
Yeah, their film crew can't record this year because of their filming the Bengals sideline last year. Yeah, I mean, I think you should probably talk about this stuff because I don't really know a ton, but if something could happen where they get essentially a 3rd-round pick out of Cam Newton, so that would be a direct replacement, and Cam's contract is only $500K with about $6 million incentives. So it's either he hits those incentives and is a good quarterback for you, or you only pay him $500K, and I don't know how the 3rd-round pick thing works, but potentially get a 3rd-round pick too.
Basically, if you cut a guy, he's gone and you get no compensation for that.
Yeah.
If a guy leaves in free agency, you get comp picks based on, I don't know how exactly they do it.
It seems sketchy
There
to
are
me a
different
little.
levels.
It seems kind of sketchy.
It is, and but top for a high level player, a starting level player, you usually get a 3rd-round pick when they leave and sign with another team. Again, if you cut them, you get nothing.
Yeah.
If it goes past like a certain date, usually late summer, like happened with who's the shitty defensive end?
Ezekiel Anza?
Yeah, Ziggy Ansah. The Seahawks signed him, and there was no picks given for that one because it was after a certain date. But anyway, so yeah, they could have him come for a year. If it works, then maybe they go back to the Super Bowl. If it doesn't work, he goes somewhere else next year and they get a 3rd-round pick that they lost for cheating. And why are they only getting charged a 3rd-round pick? Can you explain this to me? What in the hell is going on?
The only explanation I don't have an explanation. I'm kind of bothered by this too because how many times are you going to slap him on the wrist? How many wrist slaps can they get? Because all of these penalties, everything they've done have only been wrist slaps. Other than you could argue Brady suspended for 4 games was more than a wrist slap, but they were 3-1, so who cares?
If I got busted for picking someone's pocket, I'd probably get a hand slap.
Yeah.
It'd be my first offense. If I pick another pocket and get caught, I probably do some time. If I pick another pocket, I'm gonna do more time, right? Like
it increases.
Yes, but it seems like 3rd-round. Like, what's the incentive to not cheat?
It's like if
I win a Super Bowl 3rd-round pick, who the fuck cares?
Okay, so I think the way the NFL looks at it is you shouldn't consider what they did in the past for a current punishment, but like because when you think about it, kind of in the context of the NFL, that does make sense. Like say a team cheats 5 years ago, and then 5 years later they have like new GM, new coach, even a new owner. So like, but it's different. So like,
same guys though.
It's the same guys. So I think in that case, if it's the same people, then you should consider what they did in the past and make it harsher because clearly what you're doing isn't stopping them. They're still winning Super Bowls. They're still successful. Yeah. So you gotta like do something. Yeah, I mean, fuck the Pats. Yeah, so speaking of quarterback signings, this one a little bit more money, just a little.
A little bit.
Patrick Mahomes, 10-year extension. Now, originally Schefter reported it was around $425 million.
Well, that's all.
Yeah, that was it. And then Rappaport came out and reported here. I'll pull it up on the screen.
I
Rappaport.
believe it was 503.
Yeah, 503 with 477 in guarantee mechanisms. Now, we don't know what that means, but we're just going to say it means guarantees.
It sounds like there are certain points where they could get out of it, but if or get out of some of those guarantees, but then if they do that, then he can opt out. So, you know, something probably pretty bad would have to happen for them to opt out or for him to opt out. But man,
This is like 80 mil more than the highest contract in sports behind him, and not only is that ridiculous just period, but he's a football player.
yeah,
Like that football players don't get baseball money, and he
no,
is making way more than baseball. He's getting $50 million. Like how I think the Chiefs, man, if they don't win another one in the next 2 or 3 years, they are fucked. Like seriously, unless Mahomes can drag a team like Russ can, even then, like I don't know.
but just keep in mind the cap most likely will continue to go
That's
up.
true. That's true.
So in 3 years, this probably won't seem like he won't even be the highest paid guy in three
That's
or
a good
4 years.
point.
Somebody else will come along and eclipse that. It always have we. It's funny every time somebody signs big money, it's a shock, and then you always hear, "Oh, no one's ever going to do that again," and then somebody surpasses that.
Yeah.
This has gone on for a long time. You know, if you're going to give one guy the money, it seems like he would be the guy. He's young, he's done it, he's proven it, he's come through in big moments. He seems to have the attitude that you want, the face of the franchise that you want. I like the guy.
I like him too.
And I
Yeah.
don't like a whole lot of quarterbacks, to be honest with you. I think they're usually kind of douchebags.
Yeah.
I
No.
like him. He
Yeah.
seems gritty and real.
Mm-hmm.
He puts steak on his ketchup, which is a serious
He
problem.
puts steak on his ketchup.
Yeah.
He likes ketchup that much.
Yeah, yeah. He pours out the ketchup and puts a little steak on it.
Wow.
Something like that. Yeah.
By the way, man, he probably does deserve this. So when I say the Chiefs are
No one
screwed,
deserves it.
I mean, yeah, no,
Yeah.
that's a whole other discussion.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
for what we're looking at as far as sports and contracts, he probably deserves this. But I don't know who they've re-signed yet, but it seems like they're gonna have 3 or 4 guys, and then a bunch of minimum contracts. That's what it seems like they're headed towards. I don't know. Hopefully this. I mean, I don't want to say hopefully. Hopefully for the Chiefs, the salary cap moves up a ton, but the league's losing money right now. I don't know.
Yeah, I think I think, and you know, things can change, and the thing that's interesting about this is just, you know, kind of some uncertainty with a lot of things. Like,
Yeah.
will there even be football anymore?
Yeah.
I mean, we think so, but we're not sure. I'm sure there's stuff written into about that, but live sports. Well, football is king, you know. And
Yeah.
the NBA is big too. MLB is shrinking a little bit, but the NFL and probably the NBA are going to continue to grow in popularity.
Yeah.
And a lot of that is because they are one. I think I've said this before on the podcast, but they are one of. There aren't very many shows anymore that are DVR proof.
No.
How often have you run downstairs and said, "Shit, it's 8 o'clock. My show's on."
Never. I don't think I've ever done that in my life.
Like that, yeah, that happened when I was a kid. Like if you missed the first 5 minutes, you were kind of fucked.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you turn on a show late and you're like, do I bother watching this? Did I miss too much?
Yeah.
But now I don't even watch anything live.
No.
If I watch network TV, I don't even watch network TV.
We only watch
often.
network TV for sports.
Yeah,
Really.
pretty much. Everything else is Netflix or just looking stuff on, you know. But it's hard to watch an NFL game. There was a time where I would start an hour late and catch up, but now you got to check the Twitter and you're like, shit, oh God, I just saw somebody scored a touchdown.
I don't trust myself or the internet.
And then if you finish the game late and the Seahawks win in this neighborhood, you're going to get fireworks.
Yeah, you got
so
fireworks.
You're like ready to watch the ball's in the air. Is it going to be a touch? And then you hear that and you're like, oh, okay, well, I guess he's going to catch that.
Yeah.
So anyway, it's going to continue to grow because, you know, the advertisers they want to put their money there
They find
because
more value.
I have to watch their goddamn ads unless I'm getting up to take a piss or get a beer.
Just
I'm watching
mini
their
commercial
ad,
breaks.
which is quite a few. Yeah, it's quite a few. But I'm catching some of their ads, and that's the only place that I catch ads anymore.
By the way, injury guarantees $140 million. So count on him. Count on him to paralyze himself within the next few days. Take his $140 million and ride off into the sunset. Imagine that though. Like God forbid. Like I would never wish this on anybody, but like tomorrow, if he were to like get like injured to the point where he couldn't play.
Yeah, still gets 140 mil.
Yeah. Wow. Also, let's see. There's another Schefter tweet that I wanted to bring up. He has 25 million incentives over these next 10 years, 1.25 for winning AFC Championship and 1.25 for winning the Super Bowl, which is actually very little considering those two. Considering those
$1 million, that's nothing.
I mean, considering obviously the size of the contract and also the size of those achievements. I mean, going to the Super Bowl and winning the MVP, he doesn't need incentives.
The funny thing about that incentive, that's not going to make him play any differently.
No.
Now, if you said your contract, this year you make $5 million. If we win the Super Bowl, you make $50 million.
That's a little different.
Then that's a little different. But if it's I don't know. Those incentive things always crack me up.
Oh, by the way,
huge difference.
That's 25 mil of incentives, taking value of his deal from 477 to 503. I didn't even read that second part.
Okay.
So yeah, actually 477 without the incentives. Assume he hits. Over 10 years, I assume he's gonna hit at least 2 or 3 of those incentives. He'll probably win another MVP and go to another Super Bowl if I had to guess.
I don't think we're going to see him standing, at a stoplight with a sign if he doesn't get his incentives.
Yeah, no, he'll be fine.
He'll be okay.
And yeah, like you said, it doesn't change the way you play, so it doesn't really matter. Yeah. Actually, I want to change back to this camera. All right, we got NFL shortening their preseason. Thank God, should have happened. The preseason should have never been this long. It was never a good idea. Waste of time, waste of energy, waste of money, resources, everything. It's just a waste.
They got to get their ticket money, though. They pay fans who have season tickets pay for those preseason
By the way, we didn't mention this, but this is our second time recording this. What?
You're not as surprised?
Yeah. So
last time you were like, what?
Yeah. So I learned this yesterday. That preseason games are included in season tickets. Not included though. You have to pay for those full price, which is the biggest scam horseshit deal of all time. I think that that's awful.
So this is why when players want to cut down preseason games, the NFL's like, no, that's like a lot of. Well, it's the stadium money plus.
You still get ads.
You still get TV money.
Yeah.
There's still a lot of TV money there.
That's dumb.
So, but yeah, I wish they would just get rid of it and just go to 18 games. College football doesn't have a preseason.
They're fine. They're fine.
I mean, you have all off season to figure your shit out. Those first couple games, they might not be 100% great. You may have more substitutions and things like that, but
it's football.
I don't know. Gear up for it. Get ready. Go play football.
Yeah.
I don't want to watch games that don't count.
Yeah. All right. We got A&M and Jimbo Fisher suspended for a year for recruiting violations. What I saw was that an assistant coach talked to a player when he shouldn't have, and Jimbo was not very compliant with the investigation, so they're suspended for a year. This should be happening to schools around the nation, so who really cares? I don't know. I mean,
it just seems like it doesn't seem like they're very consistent with punishments.
It seems like they do one a year. It's like we need to make sure people think that we're punishing teams still, so they just pick one.
Yeah, and I will say they like to have their asses kissed. So if it's better if you self-report, right? Self-report. Hey, we fucked up. Here's what happened. We're gonna punish ourselves by doing this, and the NCAA usually will say, "Hey, sounds good."
Yep.
But if they find out and then you say "fuck you," or "I'm not telling you anything," go fuck yourself, then that's when you get slapped. So that's what happened here. They got to prove a point.
The NCAA only cares when you're cheating them and not the game.
Yeah, pretty much.
It's kind of sad.
Yeah.
So moving forward, we got AB working out with Russ, taking some routes, and apparently from an Instagram story. There was a Seahawks helmet in the background. So, and he was in a house. So it appeared he was either in Russell Wilson's house or trying on Seahawks helmets.
Was he going into the house or leaving the house? Remember the Tom Brady?
Yeah. 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 So I really don't know how to feel about this because there's some allegations.
Yes or no? Yes or no question. Sign him or no sign him. No details, no qualifications. Sign him yes or sign him no. Pick one.
Then I go with no. If we're not doing ifs, I go with no because
me too.
Because I first and foremost there are allegations out there against him that are beyond what I would be willing to let slide for him to be a Seahawk. Whether those are true or not, we have no idea. So I'm just not going to comment on that anymore.
Yeah, I don't know. And he could still have a lengthy suspension coming. We don't know about that either.
Yeah, and we don't even know if he's eligible. But also, I mean, the more, I guess, glaring potential problem with that would be potential locker room issues. Now, he hasn't done anything crazy in the last few months. Apparently, he's been getting help. And I said this when we recorded this yesterday. I trust Russell Wilson's judgment. Russ is a very holy and good man, so I'm gonna go ahead and if he can see that AB is better, then I'll trust him with that.
To me, it has to be a prove it deal, so it needs to be
low money. I don't want to pay him. Although if we're not using the salary cap we have, I mean 1 year.
Yeah, but yeah, it needs to be low money. And it needs to be if you sneeze and don't cover your mouth.
Right now that would actually be a really big issue.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah. If you're late for a meeting, we can cut you. Like if we cut you, you get nothing other than what you've already earned. So, but you got to look at everything, right? If you're a winning organization, you look at everything. I'm sure they called Cam Newton. I'm sure they. You kick the tires on everything and see what can help your team win this season. If you don't, you're not doing your job.
For sure.
So, if the situation is right, what does it hurt to take a look? I look at the Seahawks receiving core and I see a potential stud in DK Metcalf. I see a very solid guy in number 16. Lockett. And I don't see much else. It's hard. Like I have to think for a couple of minutes to name the next couple of receivers.
Yeah.
So, moving Lockett, I think is better in the slot, and then you put
I agree. 100%.
Opposite Metcalf.
That is dangerous, man.
AB is gonna get double teams. Now you've got a lot of Metcalf going.
Metcalf just run now. We're going back to Ole Miss. You're just running streaks, baby. You are just running streaks.
Yeah. So that sounds pretty damn good. But yeah, can he be okay in the locker room? Does he have to be the man? Is he going to be okay getting 6 targets and not 15 like he's used to?
I think we all thought Josh Gordon would have a bigger role when he came in. So obviously he's not AB, but that tells me that AB wouldn't be he might be the number one, but he wouldn't be getting quite those number one targets.
Well, and plus you have to run on first down and then run on second down.
Fucking A. Oh my God.
Let Russ run around like a chicken with his head cut off on 3rd and 13.
Dude, if we run...
I shouldn't have opened this door. I don't need you talking about
if we
let Russ cook anymore.
I'm going to... we need to let Russ cook, but...
You want him to pick the ingredients too. He says he wants AB. You're saying let Russ pick the ingredients and cook.
Let him pick the stove, man. Call the plays. God damn. Everything. Just let Russ run the team. Yeah.
Coach GM.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Next up, speaking of getting canceled, Redskins name canceled.
Yeah.
Speaking of getting canceled wasn't a good transition. That was supposed to be about AB, but yeah. Redskins name getting changed. Good. Was around for too long. It's really funny though that Dan Snyder said that he was never going to change it.
Yeah. Like
last year, and now that his pockets are getting hurt, he's changing it. It's sad. It's really sad.
Unfortunately, and it's, and by the way, so we have a segment called Clown of the Week, so I might as well just kind of combine the two now.
Yeah.
Because he is my Clown of the Week,
mm-hmm.
Clown of the century.
Oh
so
yeah, I
far.
mean you could pick any time period. He's the clown of it.
I think when I look at this guy, when I was a kid growing up, I liked the Cowboys,
Mm-hmm.
which I know not a
Boo.
good thing to say in this town.
Yeah.
I'm a Seahawks fan, have been for a long time, but when I was a little kid, I liked the Cowboys growing up in West Virginia. So I hated the Redskins and I hated the Steelers, and those were two of the most storied franchises, probably from the mid '70s through the early '90s. Snyder buys the team, and he's a me guy. I want to sign this guy. I want to cut that guy, and he butts in too much.
Mm-hmm.
He's been a failure in that regard.
Yeah.
He's like Jerry Jones, but less good at everything.
I can't think of an owner that should be involved with personnel decisions.
No.
Unless Bill Belichick was to become an owner.
Right.
That's pretty much it.
Yeah. So he's a shitty owner, and then he's had this, and I know there's some debate, is it a racist name? I know that there's some tribes that have said it's fine, but there are many that have said I find it offensive. I don't even like to say it out loud.
If it offends like anyone, then it's I mean, I'm not saying like everyone should always be happy, but if your team name offends anyone and they have a legit reason for it to be offensive, then you should just change it, right? Like
I've said this to a couple of people and they found it a little shocking, but I believe it to be true. What if there was a team called the Blackskins?
Yeah, I mean,
how would that go?
There was I forget the guy's name, so I won't be able to.
Why are Redskins okay?
Yeah, there was I'll see if I can find it. There was a broadcaster on, just a personality on ESPN, and he wore a shirt that was kind of a play on the Cleveland Indians, who, by the way, are potentially changing their name too. But let's see, Bomani Jones, that's who it was. So this dude caught so much heat for this. He wore this shirt right here, the Caucasians. I'll pull up a better picture. So it's
Crackers.
Oh, that's the Crackers. That's a different one. Yeah. So the Caucasians, and you can see the feather out of their hat is a dollar sign, and there's a tie on around his neck. So yeah, if you're listening and not watching, it's a Cleveland Indians shirt, but instead of Cleveland, it says Caucasians, and instead of a Chief Wahoo, which I'm glad that's gone. I mean, that was
pull up Chief Wahoo.
This is it's a white guy, and the feather out of the hat is actually a dollar sign now.
Right.
And Bomani Jones wore this on an ESPN show and got railed. Sure. He got railed.
I think the Indians as a name isn't that bad if you're honoring, if you're being honorable about it.
Yeah.
But I guess, I don't know. But yeah, that symbol. They got rid of that symbol quite a few years ago, but obviously you still see it around.
This reminds me of those little racist dolls, like those little knit racist black people dolls that have
so I think they need to change the name too, because there's, we do call them Native Americans. A lot of tribes still refer to themselves as the Indians, so it's a complicated issue.
Yeah.
Redskins is not complicated.
No, it's like I said, if it offends one person, you just might as well. This is what Chief Wahoo reminds me of. Like something extremely. This is the same to me. Yeah, these two are parallel. Yeah. I'll get this off the screen now.
Yeah. But what? First of all, any way that we're making some of these changes, it's good to make the changes, but it's a little bit disheartening sometimes to think about the motivation for the change. So
it's sad.
It should be, hey, that's racist. Let's not do that. But it's like, do you think so? If it's FedEx Field, right? Another Snyder thing, Mr. Clown of the Week. You build a shitty stadium,
bro. Any new stadium should be awesome.
Yeah.
And I know it's not brand new, but any relatively new stadium should be cool, really cool.
It's a bad stadium.
Bad grass.
Field.
Mm-hmm.
Terrible parking.
Yep.
Transit to and from is horrible. It's in Landover, Maryland. Oh, and he wants to move. He wants to build a new stadium where RFK, which is where the Washington D.C. football team used to play. But Washington, D.C. has said, you're going to need a different name if you're coming back to D.C. We're not playing that again.
Go
But
ahead.
I'm thinking, so this is FedEx Field, and so FedEx calls, and they're probably, the conversation must have been something like, we used to be okay with the whole racist thing, but it looks bad now, so yeah, we got to change that name. Like it's a money motivation thing to not be racist.
If you want to spark change, just mess with people's pockets.
Yeah, yeah.
It's like, it's really. I'm glad they're changing the name, but it's really sad to me that he'll essentially. I don't know. He won't get praised for this, but people. He'll be looked at in a positive light because of this, and he shouldn't be. It's just
No.
something that he should have done, and that he's only doing because he's being greedy.
Yeah. Why didn't you do it 20 years ago?
He stood really hard by the name 2 years ago. You think his opinion really changed? Like, did he gain that much perspective? Maybe he did.
He did some phony survey. It's along the lines of like, I've heard people say, maybe, I don't know if people in your generation say this, but along the lines of, well, I know a black guy and he said it's okay if I do this.
Yeah.
It was, his survey was a lot like that. So
Yeah.
he found an Indian tribe that was okay with Redskins. And I can't stand the guy. Get rid of the stupid name. There are a lot of journalists who won't use that name, who haven't used it for many years.
Yeah. And this is what I want them to replace it with personally. The Washington Red Tails, tribute to the Muskegee
Airmen.
Airmen. Yeah, they were a platoon. I don't know the verbiage. I'm just gonna say platoon, even though it's probably wrong.
We need to see that movie.
Yeah, we do need to see that movie. It was a group of black pilots that did really great things for America in World War II. Yeah, so I think this would be great. I know Dwayne Haskins, who currently is the face of their franchise, liked it, so I bet that carries at least a little weight. Actually, Dan Snyder doesn't give a fuck about his players. Yeah, so I like that one personally. And then our last little bit of football news, we got Colin Kaepernick signing a deal with Disney to come out with a docuseries.
Oh.
Yeah, so
Maybe we'll know what's actually going through that dude's head.
Yeah,
Cool.
I hope we get. Yeah, I genuinely though, I hope we get more insight into how his brain works, because I think he's had for this long, like it seems like he's had a lot of foresight when it comes to this stuff.
Yeah.
And he was ahead of his time with the protesting. So, and he was book smart too. He got amazing grades. So like, I really want to see how this guy ticks, because he's also done some really stupid things that have hurt his message and hurt his image. So I'm really curious. I haven't really read anything on this. Pretty much just the headline. So I'll probably check this out.
When Forrest Gump is like running, and people are like running up. Why are you doing this? Why are you running? Are you running for world peace? Are you running? I don't remember what they say exactly. But that's how I feel about Cap. I mean, I know why he did it.
Yeah.
But I don't know what he's trying to do. I don't know, as far as playing in the league again. I don't know what he wants or what he expects. Yeah. Like, nobody knows any of that. So I don't know. I would love to hear, like you said, like what's going through this dude's head. He's a different kind of dude. Obviously.
He's a different cat, and I stand by that. He was just kind of ahead of his time as far as the protests, even by just 4 years. But it got that conversation started, which it seems like that was kind of his goal, was just to get conversation started. Which I will come out and admit, I was not aware of really what his message was at first. So I didn't realize it was a police brutality thing, so I wasn't a huge fan of it. But after learning what his message was and seeing it work like a damn charm, how can you not back this guy?
Yeah, I mean, I still don't want him on my team, and I don't really like him. But there's no question that he, in many ways, has accomplished what he set out to do. And maybe he wanted to be a martyr. Like, I'm not going to say anything. I'll just let the conversation go. Maybe being a martyr is part of his deal.
Mm-hmm.
So if he came out and said, "Well, I'm not signing unless I get,
X
$25 million a year," now that weakens his message, right?
Mm-hmm.
So his message is way stronger if we all think he was willing to sign for the minimum.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
maybe it's a smart move. Maybe he maybe he really wants to make a change, or maybe he's just a dick. I don't really know because he doesn't say anything.
Yeah.
So hopefully he will in this thing, and then I'll
Yeah.
know. I'd love to know what's going through his head.
Yeah. I definitely will check this out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So let's see what else we got. Moving on to basketball stuff. We got Zion dropping 20, man. Dropping 20 pounds. He looks good. And I think if you also consider the Pelicans, for their 8 games going into what could potentially be their play-in series thing, 4 out of those 8 games, they play against teams that are not currently in the top 8 seeds. So, man, they have to be within 4 games to get this 3-game series. They're 3.5 right now. So I think if they can go 5-3, I think they have a very good chance of getting to that play-in. And yes, you have to win. It's not, okay, by the way, the 3-game series is the lower seed has to win 2, and the upper seed only has to win 1.
Right.
So, yes, you have to win 2 in a row, and you still have to remain within 4. But I'm gonna say it. I think they make the playoffs.
It looks like they're ready for that, and this is what he needed to do.
Yeah.
I had concerns about the guy coming out of college. When you are 280 pounds and you jump that high and you're landing on those knees and on those ankles, like that's not a good mix. So I think this is what he had to do. We saw LeBron do this early in his career. He dropped some weight. That's what you got to do if you want to be able to make it through a season and make it through the playoffs and be His only question is, can he stay healthy?
Yeah.
And I thought he was going to be a bust, mostly based on health. And this is a step in the right direction for him to avoid that tag.
He's already, he can already move well. Obviously he can fly through the air. I mean, are we going to see this dude hitting his neck on the rim while he's dunking? Like, what is going to, man, I wonder though, if maybe his version of bully ball will be affected, because he still has that ability to bully NBA players, which people were worried about.
Right. Well, he's still 260
That's
pounds,
the thing.
right?
Yeah, never mind. I think, and also, it's not like he lost muscle. He just lost fat.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think for me, book Lakers Pelicans in the first round.
Yeah, that would be fun.
Which would be really fun. It would be really fun. Yeah. Book it. All right, we got moving forward. Gordon Hayward is having a kid in September, so he will be leaving the bubble.
He's currently pregnant?
Yes, he is. He is going to be playing.
This is big news.
He's going to be playing the first little bit of this season, 9 months pregnant, and then he will be leaving the bubble to have his kid, and his wife will be there to support.
Cool.
Yeah.
How long do you need, to come back and play after you have a child?
He said he's coming back the day after.
That's impressive.
Yeah,
that's impressive.
That's really impressive. No, so yeah, he will be leaving the bubble for the birth of his child. I don't know if he's going to come back or not. The only reason I find this to be any sort of news is I'm worried that guys are going to start trying to make excuses to leave the bubble and then bring stuff back. And Adam Silver has now come out and said there's not a 100% chance they finish the season. And I will throw up if they don't. I will be so depressed if there is no NBA Finals this year. Yeah. Because now I fully expect it to happen. After these months of all this prep, I fully expect this to happen.
You have a bunch of rich, good-looking, athletic, famous 22-year-olds who are probably horny as fuck.
They're gonna be horny. Oh yeah.
And you're gonna keep them in a bubble?
Good luck.
We'll see.
Good luck. And I know
they don't screw it up, because if they screw it up, we're not gonna have a football season either.
Yeah. And by the way, if this is a news flash for you, I'm sorry, but NBA players, a lot of them also smoke weed. So
the bubble's gonna get cloudy. It's gonna be like a snow globe.
No, that's Coke.
No, I thought we were talking about the 80s. Okay, gotcha.
Yeah. So. And Stephen A. Smith said this on his show, which I just think is hilarious. By the way, Stephen A. has said himself that he gets horny a few hours out of the day on air.
I did not need to know that.
Yeah. So but I'm just worried that they will not be accommodated enough to be motivated enough to win, even though, oh, you should just want to win a championship. These guys want to earn money for their family. They like playing basketball. Breaking news again, not every player is in it to win a championship. They're in it to, there's different motivations for everyone. Some of them genuinely, I believe some of them are in it for the clout nowadays. I don't think that was a thing before. You look at a guy like Kyle Kuzma, how can you look at him and say he's not, he enjoys the clout more than he enjoys playing, in my opinion.
At every level, I don't care if you're talking about rec basketball, high school basketball, beer league softball, whatever the hell. There are guys and women who hate losing. There's a difference between, I want to win. Everybody wants to win, but do you are you angry for days after you lose? Like, not everybody's like that.
No.
Not even professional athletes. So hopefully they find that motivation. It'll be interesting to see what happens. And what do you think about, so Mike Trout, his wife is pregnant. He's not having a baby, his wife is. So it's a little different situation. Yeah. But he expressed some concerns, and, I think the response has been, whatever the fuck, dude. But what would happen if LeBron said, I don't know if I want to play?
I'll tell you why that's different. Mike Trout is the least marketable superstar of all time in any sport. He's boring. No one cares about him. I feel like a lot of people would not recognize him if they weren't baseball fans, which shouldn't be normal. LeBron, anywhere he goes, he's mobbed. Everyone knows him. He's the face of the NBA, which you could say Trout's the face of the MLB, but, no, Manfred Stooge ass is the face of the MLB right now.
Do you think Adam Silver, FaceTimed LeBron and said, hey, if we play, or, and then LeBron was like, dude, you got bigger ears than I remember, and he was like, well, the camera ends 10 pounds to my ears. Anyway, sorry, sidetrack. But do you think they talked to LeBron and said, will you be on board with this? Because if we have you speak out against this, then
the difference between the NBA and some other leagues is they have real superstars leading the Players Association. So they have Chris Paul, and I don't remember who else, but they have Kyrie. Kyrie's the vice president. They have, whatever. They have really big names a part of the NBPA. So I think they actually just asked the Players Association. I know LeBron's really involved too, so I'm guessing he was definitely involved in those conversations. I'm guessing he's on whatever board they have. So I wouldn't. Maybe they did just reach out to him, but you also got guys like Giannis moving tickets. So I think they definitely got LeBron's opinion, but I wouldn't say they were really seeking it out over everyone else's.
I would. If I'm Adam Silver, I at least want to know where his head's
at. I would, yes.
Because if he came out and said, this scares me, I don't want to do it.
You're fucked. You're
screwed. Now every player, suddenly all of the Lakers are with him.
Yeah.
And you'd have a lot more people coming out of the woodwork. But if he's on board, everybody's like, okay,
and that's,
for the most part.
That's a player, anyone who becomes as great as LeBron and has, they are driven to win. Because the other guys, once they get that contract, they don't worry about losing the weight they need to and whatever, and getting their shot better. So I don't think the Black Plague would have stopped LeBron from wanting to play. I think it could have been a lot more serious, and LeBron would have wanted to play.
One thing, when he was a high school kid, you never know. Obviously, you could see that he was a physical talent. Much like Zion, but you don't really know. That dude has added something to his game pretty much every year.
Yeah,
he lost a little weight years ago, and people were like, "What? Why? You don't need to do that. You're still he was probably 25 when he did that." But he's always thinking ahead.
Yeah,
he always wants to get better. That's what's been impressive about him. Jordan was that way too. Always thinking about, the only difference is, LeBron is like, which team could I go to
Shut up.
Get better?
Like you said, he adds something to his repertoire every year. Dude's leading the league in assists by 1.3.
Wow.
That's nuts.
It is.
And if you look below him, point guard, 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 center. point guard, point guard, point guard, point guard. Like it just
Yeah.
keeps going. So, yeah, I mean, he's incredible. And I'm not surprised at all that he's fully in on this, on going back. Yeah, so I guess moving forward, we got some baseball stuff. Boise State baseball getting cut. You said they cut other
I
stuff
believe
too.
they cut a couple of sports. Yeah, it's sad.
We said this was probably going to happen, and I'm not surprised Boise State's really the first one. They just started a couple of years ago. They're really bad. Obviously, not making money, so not surprised.
And I think there's already been some of this going around, especially at smaller colleges. If there's not a football season, you're going to see sports getting dropped all
Yeah,
over the place.
it's going to be really bad and sad.
Because football funds 85% of college programs, at least at the major college level, and that's a whole nother discussion. Should football be responsible for
Yeah,
doing that?
we've kind of had somewhat of that conversation before.
But the reality is right now it does, and if you don't have football, more and more stuff's going to go away.
You're going to either see schools taking out ridiculous loans that are not smart to take, or
like we talked about before, UW, a lot of their staff members took cuts. They took furloughs for a few weeks
should be happening
to keep their 22 sports
should
alive.
be happening a lot more.
Yeah, for sure. And a school like UW has done fairly well financially, so they have the resources and they have good donors that can keep it alive through this year. But if this goes on for another year, you're gonna see stuff everywhere dropping. And I don't want to see that.
No,
it's not like I watch a lot of other sports, but
right.
But I think it's a bummer if they go away. I'd hate to see that.
Yeah, I mean, we talked about this before, but we just don't like seeing opportunities being taken away from people. It's just, it sucks, and it's just kind of the reality we live in currently. Some, I guess, more lighthearted. I don't know what to describe this.
Light?
Well, not light. I guess anything light isn't the right word. Pablo Sandoval, man. By the way. Okay, I apparently the guy that tweeted this, I didn't know this. Apparently he went off on Twitter saying, "Why are you fat shaming Pablo? You posted this tweet, you asshole!" Like, you aired him out. If you're listening, we're looking at a picture of Pablo Sandoval. If you thought he was fat before, I mean, this is the biggest he's been, right?
He's on my COVID diet, I think.
Yeah, seriously. I mean, this is just the ideal male body. This is sexy right here.
Man.
I don't think I've seen him this big. I don't think he should be wearing this size of shirt either. I think this might be from his first tenure as a Giant. When he was on the Giants in like 2012, he fit into this and just kept it.
Same shit he had before.
No, he just kept it in his closet and
I don't need any new. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, and he's not young.
No, and he hasn't been good in a long time either. It's kind of weird, mind-boggling to me. He's still on a team. Wow. I've always loved Pablo Sandoval.
I like the guy. I like the guy.
Also, I say that I don't know if he's done anything bad. So
right.
If he has, then I don't.
No, I've enjoyed watching him as a player.
Yes. Yeah. All right. Moving forward. So we got MLB Taxi Squad, 60-man roster, and then there are new service time rules. You know a lot more about this than me, so go ahead.
So just real quick, because it's baseball and we borderline give a fuck anymore right now about baseball.
Yeah.
But MLB Taxi Squad. So in a normal year, you have your 25-man team and a 40-man roster.
Yeah.
And you protect your 40 guys so another team can't come grab them and basically take them away from you.
Yeah.
To simplify it, but with the taxi squad, so normally if you have a guy go down, so somebody tweaks a hammy, rounding the bases, pitcher strains his elbow, whatever, first thing you do is you get on the phone, the Mariners get on the phone to Tacoma and say, hey, put dumb fuck on a plane, we need him, in case we need a guy in tomorrow's game. But you can't just have people flying around right now, right?
Yeah.
Like, that's not ideal, so they're going to have the taxi squad. They're going to have 3 guys that come with the team. They're still minor leaguers making minor league money.
Yeah.
But they basically can, instead of calling Tacoma, you be like, hey, bro, you're on the team
Please,
now.
we need your help.
Yeah. And then
Try to talk a little bit more into the mic.
Yeah. Okay. What else is happening? I lost my
sorry.
Yeah.
It was
Okay.
service time.
Service time. So service time is a big deal, especially for a team like the Mariners. So in a normal season, you'd see teams hold guys down in the minors because they don't want to give them credit for a season, which opens the door for free agency sooner.
Yeah.
It's happened to Chris Bryant a few years ago with the Cubs.
That was horseshit. I forgot about that, but yeah, that was bad.
Yeah, he was clearly one of their best players, but they held him down at the beginning so they could have him become a free agent later. He was pissed about it. He tried to fight it. And
of course.
All that, which I get. This will be a big issue in the next collective bargaining agreement, I guarantee you.
Oh, yeah.
So the question is, and I still haven't gotten a firm answer on this, but I've heard that is only going to be 7 days now. So you may see a team like the Mariners. The Mariners, obviously, they would love to get some of these young guys up to get some experience. There's no minor league season this year.
Yeah.
So how do you get your young players that you're telling us are going to be superstars in a few years? How do you get them that game experience?
Is this the Mariners curse? Is COVID really all along just been the Mariners curse? And this is going to cause our promising prospects to suck ass?
That I could see that, yeah.
Did the Mariners cause COVID?
They may have, I think.
Jesus Christ.
I knew it was a conspiracy.
Speaking of the Mariners, Mitch Haniger on the 45-day DL. Looks like this is just going to be what it's like with him.
Yeah, he just seems like one of those guys, I feel bad for the guy.
Obviously you do, yeah.
And just to tell you, a little public service announcement right now. Don't ever, ever Google ruptured testicle. Don't do it.
Never planned on it, and now I for sure won't. So thank you. Yeah.
Don't do it. You won't sleep at night. It's terrible, people. It's terrible.
The more you talk, see, now you're kind of selling it to me. Like now I kind of want to see it.
You don't want to see it. You'll never forget it.
Okay. So you're saying it's an unforgettable memory?
Yes.
Okay.
I don't know what that means. Anyway, yeah, he seems, he obviously was a guy that had a lot of promise. Is he a part of the Mariners, 2025 World Series team that we keep hearing all about? I don't know. He'll be an old player.
Yeah, if he's still around, it's
he'll
role.
Be dead by the time they're good.
Seriously, role player.
But what you want is for him to do well, so you can trade him.
Yeah.
Or maybe he's just a good player for you. That'd be fine. Either way, but you don't want him to get hurt. And he just seems like one of those guys that it's an oblique, it's a nut, it's whatever. There's always something with this guy.
Some of them are unfortunate. Some of them are unlucky. So I don't know if I'm fully gonna be like, oh, he's just gonna be a guy that gets hurt. But when you're a baseball player that has repeating injuries and they're all different and you can't stay off the DL, then it's like, man,
guys just don't stop getting hurt.
Yeah.
One or two fluke things, okay, but when guys keep getting hurt.
Yeah.
It never stops. That's just who he is, I think, unfortunately.
Yeah. All right. We also got, speaking of the Mariners, starting with the Astros on July 24th. Do you think someone will get plunked?
It's a tough one because Scott Service is a little bit of a puss.
Yeah, but you got Marco on the mound, hopefully.
Marco's kind of a bulldog. He's got some attitude. I'm assuming the opening day starter, presuming that he's healthy.
Yeah.
He seems like a guy that would want to send a message.
If I'm a pitcher, I'm not listening to my coach if he tells me not to.
Scott Service. I'm not saying Scott Service is bad, but he's soft. He's not known to throw at guys.
No. And by the way, Bregman said the unwritten rule of baseball was to throw at guys that do things that are wrong. He said that, and literally like a week later, the news dropped.
Right. Yeah.
That he better get he deserves it. He knows he deserves it.
I would peg them all.
Yeah. So do you think it's going to happen, though?
I don't know.
I'll bet you $5 that someone gets plunked.
Yeah, I think it'll happen. I think it'll happen in the fourth inning.
Okay. So, yeah.
It's not going to happen right away.
Yeah, it would be
maybe
a little
obvious.
sitting there
watching, and it won't happen. They're going to try to want to make it not obvious.
Yeah.
But at some point, Marco is just going to be like, screw this. Like, I'm going to,
Maybe Altuve second time around or something.
Yeah, I mean, it's in the fourth inning. He's probably going to be held to what, 70, 80 pitches.
He'll probably do it on like his last batter.
Oh,
like
yeah.
he'll probably do it when he knows he's about to get pulled.
Right.
So
yeah. So I sure hope they do.
Yeah.
I sure hope they do, but I don't know. I think it will happen this season. The Mariners, they just seem kind of soft.
Mm-hmm.
But hopefully Marco, if anyone's going to do it, it's going to be Marco because he's again, kind of
fiery.
A bulldog, fiery dude. So hopefully he'll get the job done.
Yeah. All right. Well, I guess you've already done your clown of the week, so I'll just go ahead and do mine. Kanye, why the fuck are you running for president, dude? What are you doing? And I know he's going to come out with an album soon. I know it's probably just for promotion. He always, when he came out and was talking crazy about MAGA and slavery and all this stuff, he released an album right after. This just happens. He does crazy shit when he's about to release an album. I don't know if it's intentional because I don't know if Kanye has control over these emotions, but what are you doing? What is he gonna? I mean, it's not like Trump and Biden are gonna be great on the debate stage, but what is Kanye gonna be like on the debate stage?
Are Biden or Trump or either one of them really that much better than?
We're not going to get into it, but I'm going to confidently say probably not. Anyway, yeah, so let's move into our last little thing here before we wrap up. So over the next 3 episodes, we'll be doing our top 5 jerseys from the 3 sports that we mainly cover here. Football, basketball, and baseball, obviously.
Oh, I have my MLS jerseys over that.
Yeah, so this week we're doing football. Next week we'll do another one, and so on and so forth. So, let's start off with yours, I suppose. We got classic Cowboys.
Yeah, this was, again, my first love as a kid, and I still really like the jersey, and I probably should have found a photo where you could see the star, but everybody knows.
Yeah,
knows
you know it's there.
Everybody
Yeah,
knows what it looks like. So I love the star. I've always thought that was a great symbol. I like the stripes on the helmet and on the sleeves. By the way, I think I've told you this before. I don't remember if I said it on the podcast or not, but what I've heard is that Don James, the legendary UW coach, when he became the coach, wanted to change up the uniforms a bit, and he said, here's what I want. Where there's white on the Cowboys jersey, I want purple. Where there's blue, I pretty much want white. Where there's silver, I want gold.
Mm-hmm.
And if you look at an 80s, early 90s UW jersey, it looks exactly like this lineup.
And the helmet still looks just like a Cowboys helmet, pretty much.
Yeah, so I just think it's a classic look. I'm a simple jersey person,
yeah.
and I like old school stuff. So yeah, I probably I didn't really rank these too much other than my number one is my number one.
Yeah,
but this this is one of my favorites for sure.
Yeah, I like these pants so much more than their current like greenish silver ones. I think this looks way better. But yeah, moving on. My number 5 spot, I did rank mine. So yeah, we got the white. Classic road white Oilers. I just love the way the blue and the red just kind of pop out, and obviously I'm a big fan of all white and all black. I think both ways it just looks really clean. Icy. Looks
I like
good.
the logo. I've always loved the oil rig.
Yeah, it's weird that's a cool logo. It seems it should be a dumb logo, but actually it looks really cool for some reason.
Yeah, this was almost. I had an Earl Campbell
right.
Photo and almost put it on my list. So.
You know what's funny? I didn't find this jersey. I knew it existed, but what made me choose this jersey was I was looking for a good picture of another jersey that was higher on my list, and there's just a picture of a game where the Oilers were playing against that team.
Oh wow!
So
okay.
So I actually originally had the Steelers Color Rush uniforms here. Yeah. Wait, hold on. Oh my God, I'm so dumb. We weren't showing the screen.
Oh shit.
Okay, yeah. So you just heard us explain that. Here, obviously, you know what the Cowboys uniforms look like, but specifically the Drew Pearson era, and then these are the Oilers ones. Yeah, sorry about that. But yeah, love these. I originally had the Steelers Color Rush uniforms, which I will pull up. I just think, like I said, I like all white and all black, and I just think these are really sharp. They like kind of cut the fat out of them, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
It's just black and yellow. I'm not a huge fan of the pants though. Like the
Yeah.
big old yellow
I don't
stripe.
like the big stripe.
Yeah, so we'll move on yours to your, I guess, number 4 spot, but not really ranked. We got, I wish I would have put these on my damn list because these are so fire. So fire. We're looking at, if you're listening, the classic Patriots uniform. They also used to wear these as a throwback before the dumbass one helmet rule came into effect. Patriot Pat. I already had the logo pulled up. It's a fire logo. Yeah.
Yeah, I love the logo. This is Tony Eason, I believe, who is not Jacob Eason's father. Although Jacob Eason's father is named Tony Eason.
That's ridiculous to me. This is funny.
Different Tony Eason though. But yeah, I just love the logo. Hate the Patriots.
Yeah. Fuck 'em.
I think their new jerseys are just stupid. The new jerseys are kind of like the Seahawks jerseys from the Holmgren era,
Just
where
boring.
yeah, just like meh. But yeah, I love the logo. I like the red.
The red really pops out.
I picked this on, I think it was July 4th when I was working on my list.
Right, yeah.
So that that worked for me too. But yeah, it's a good one.
For sure. I think the Patriots should do more stuff with red, personally.
Yeah.
All right. Oh, that's not the right screen. All right, we got, for me, my number 4 spot. Bang!
Ooh, yeah.
Classic Seahawks.
Ricky running waters right there, I believe.
Hell yeah. So we got, I think this lasted until about very early 2000s. Yeah, so Sean Alexander and Big Walt actually wore these their first couple years, but
Yep.
yeah, I mean, just the gray and that blue and green are just so clean, and no one uses these colors pretty much. I mean, there's not very many blue and green like that.
No.
This color of blue and green, at least, I don't think.
You
Not
don't
that I can
see
think
it.
of.
And don't give me that. I don't like the lime, whatever. Action
No,
green,
dude,
lime
I don't
green,
like that. I
neon
don't like
green.
it.
I don't like it.
I don't think it looks like with the jersey. I don't think the jerseys we have look bad. I think we actually have pretty cool jerseys, but this is just they're better colors. Like these are just cooler colors, plain and simple. And once again, the goddamn one helmet rule. We can't wear the silver dome, so obviously we can't wear the rest of the jersey. It sucks.
I would switch back to this jersey permanently.
Heartbeat.
No problem.
In a heartbeat.
If nothing else, I wish they would wear it once or twice a year. Love it. Loved it when I moved out here when I was a kid.
Yeah.
That helped me fall in love with the Seahawks. I thought their jerseys were so cool. And I still think it's a great look.
They're missing out. They're missing out on so many jersey sales.
Yeah.
How many people would buy a Russ throwback jersey?
Man.
I would. I would buy one. I mean, damn.
Yeah, for sure.
They're just cooler. Like, they're just awesome. And this goes for the entire NFL with all the teams.
Yeah.
The Patriots, that's the best uniform of all time. And if I were a Patriots fan, when Tom Brady was around and they were still wearing those jerseys, I'm buying a Tom Brady jersey and it's going to be in that color.
Yeah.
So, I mean, they're just missing out. They're missing out.
For sure.
All right. For you, number 3, we got just classic Raiders. The Raiders.
I love it. Black and silver. Love that color combination.
Clean.
I have a Jeep that is that color.
Yeah.
And I love it. I like simple. I love the font, the number font.
Mm-hmm.
I think the Raiders have one of the best logos in sports.
For sure.
Again, simple, clean, beautiful. Love it.
All right. Speaking of, I got the Raiders color rush in here. Now the reason I put this Saint,
it's two different teams, two different jerseys. You can't
call
that one thing.
Stop. So the reason this picture is even here is because I had trouble choosing between the two, and they just look similar. So I just wanted to make sure people saw the Saints jersey.
You found a way already to sneak in 2 extra jerseys.
Stop
into this thing.
it. No, I was originally gonna have both of these on my list.
Okay.
But since they're so similar, I just went with one, and I wanted to mention the other.
You kind of do have both of them.
Shut up. So yeah, I'm going with the Raiders one here though. I think the silver on white is very clean. I don't think it works as well when you have the weird greenish tint like the Cowboys do. But I think these are actually white pants too. But I just think the silver numbers and the silver dome with the white and the black piping matches the black stripe on the helmet. I just think it's super clean. And then the Saints one is too. I just think I like the silver look a little bit more than the gold here.
Are they trying to hide the numbers, or what are they?
Stop. You're just blind and old. All right, next up for you, we got
Oh,
creamsicles, man.
creamsicles,
These are
baby.
another jersey. I don't know if I would have put these quite on my list, but they are for sure. I didn't even think of them. I should have.
Can you pull up that logo?
Yeah.
I found a photo that doesn't show the logo. I kind of, when I was looking for him, picked players that I liked too,
Yeah.
and that's Leroy Selman, who was a badass back in the day. But I love that. Might be my favorite NFL logo of all time.
It's very nice.
I love it.
It's very
love
nice.
The logo.
It's a sexy man right there.
Yeah. The funny thing is, he's winking at me right now.
Yeah.
The funny thing is, I don't know that I liked those colors back when they were wearing them,
Yeah.
but I really like them now.
Weird,
I don't
yeah.
know,
Retroactive. Why is it so unsettling to see the logo in reverse?
That is weird.
It's so
It
unsettling.
doesn't look right.
Get it off my screen.
Stop. But no, great logo, fun color combination.
Yeah.
It seems to fit, with Florida.
Yeah.
I think so.
Just insane but kind of cool.
Yeah, exactly. So, bring him back. I like
For
it.
sure, yeah. And that's another victim of the one helmet rule.
Yeah.
Another victim. I'm pretty sure they even said they would do it. I think they did. I might be wrong there, but yeah. All right, moving on. This is number 2? Yeah, number 2.
Yeah.
This is. So,
the beard.
so clean. So, these are the Dolphins throwback jerseys, but specifically the throwback version, not the version that Marino wore, because I think the material on these jerseys is much just cleaner, fresher. The colors pop more. Also, sexy ass dude right here with the beard. I think these are obviously, these are another. This is another colorway that fits Florida perfectly. Miami specifically.
Yeah, those two colors you wouldn't think would go together too well.
No.
It just fits here.
No, it's really really dope. Obviously the logo is super cool. The reason I don't like the older ones is you kind of get into like high school practice jersey territory with some of the older ones.
It is funny how just different jerseys are now.
Yeah.
They used to, you used to tackle a guy. I mean, you'd hit him and then you would grab.
That's what you
some
do,
uniform.
yeah. You stick them and you grab them.
Yeah. Or get them when they're running by.
Yeah.
But now you can't. That's why I think has led to a lot of missed tackles. You have it's just harder to grab jersey. But this does look very different than
what it looked like on Marino. Yeah,
I like him too. Like the Dolphin logo is obviously great as well.
Hold on, let me. Oh, God damn it, damn Marino. Let's just see. I don't even really fully remember what these. Yeah, I mean these just. I don't think these are as clean. I don't think they look quite as good as the new ones. But yeah, we'll move on to your number 2. Number one. Yeah. So we got my number 4, I believe.
Oh my.
Mr. Kenny Easley in the high school practice jersey version of the old Seahawks jersey. So this was obviously before the 90s. This was 80s, so
yeah, he played in the early to mid 80s. Hall of Fame player with a unfortunately short career.
Yep.
I picked him because I like him. Again, maybe could have found a better photo, but still, like we said before, I love the logo, the color combination. It's just great. Am I biased? Yeah, probably.
For sure. I mean, I think most people probably put this in their top 10.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, my number 1. Funny enough, there was actually a picture of this jersey in a background of a picture of one of my former jerseys. So if you caught that, you might already know. Powder Blues. The Powder Blues. I mean, these are just I think these might be the best uniform in all of sports. And I didn't go with their new rebrand because I don't know how I feel. I like their new rebrand, but I don't know if I like it more than this, and I haven't seen it on the field yet. I like these numbers more. And I think they're still going with yellow face mask, but before they didn't, they had a gray face mask. I think this was the year that they did it. And I think the yellow face mask looks so good on that helmet, and it really, pops out well with the powder blue and the bolts, man. The bolts.
This should have been on my list.
I think it should have.
Some regrets.
I think it should have.
Regrets right now.
I should have had Patriot Pat on my list though, probably.
Right.
But yeah,
a great uniform. I mean, a lightning bolt. That's the
sick.
Greatest thing
it's
ever.
just cool.
Yeah.
It's just cool shit.
Yeah, good stuff.
Yeah. All right. So, that's it. So yeah, thank you guys very much for tuning in. Go ahead, check us out on Twitter at Mason Charles Co at Aaron Co 29. Check out his ebook on Amazon, hard copy on Lulu. And yeah, I mean, if you made it this far, thank you very much. Super dope of you. And yeah, we'll catch you next time. Peace out.
See you later.
Please, please, please.